Hello, and welcome to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to find podcasts. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate. Commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. CopperRockRealty.com. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Join Boson Hub Digital Development in supporting Kicking Cancer. Kicking Cancer provides support, education, and resources for cancer patients, survivors, and families. Kicking-cancer.org. More than just a home, the Arbor at Avamere Court in Kaiser. Arbor at AvamereCourt.com. Assisted living at Avamere at Albany. AvamereAtAlbany.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Experts in luxury home sales, farm and ranch, commercial, business sales, and land developments. On the web at dore.llc.
And now, your hosts for The Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Here we are, your hosts for The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We are so glad to be here this morning. We have got the joy of the Lord and are ready to go, right, Scott?
You know, as we always say, we have the most remarkable guests on the planet.
Yes, we
And
do.
today is no exception. Michael Holt, we're going to learn more from him. And I think people that have watched our shows are familiar with Michael.
I think so. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's a blessing because certain people are worth more than one show, because this is a short half-hour show. So much great content. People like Michael that can deliver a local influence, helping people raise their visibility in their business, but also a person who loves the Lord with all of his heart and is operating under those principles, being a believer in business. And that's what this show is all about. In fact, everybody, guess what? We're here every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and that is 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time on The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. Hashtag believers in business. That's right. We're here to highlight people in business in our local areas and people that love the Lord, love Jesus. So that's what makes it so much fun. And you know what? There's so much more information about us, but the real simple way to find out about us is go to local.theexperience.video. Local.theexperience.video will give you all the information about Scott and I, about our show, and you should check that out today. If you want to go straight to our YouTube page to subscribe today, we'd love to have you do that. Go to theexperience.video, real simple, and that'll take you straight to our YouTube page today. Scott, what else is going on?
You know, people can go to that live tab and you can search. You can look back and see different guest topics. Find something that works for you. You know, right. So today I got to go out and do another live show, somebody else's show. It was the Zach Owens Show. He is a 40-year broadcaster here in Waco, but the corporate world changed, and so now he's broadcasting on YouTube. And it was funny because he's actually on vacation this week, Zach Owen, and so they had a guest host, Jim Alvarado, who was filling in. He's 30 plus years in radio. They were frenemies in broadcasting. So they were on different stations at the same time, kind of challenging each other. Now they're working together. So it was a lot of fun to see. And it was just a great experience to go down there and broadcast live. And, you know, it's Russ, it's what we do.
Well, that's a beautiful thing about YouTube. So, of course, this broadcast on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook every week also goes live on the radio. So many opportunities you can make happen yourself. You don't have to wait for or be dictated by certain broadcast industries. You can do your own thing and have your own following, especially people that have been in it for years. And so we appreciate everybody following us at local.theexperience.video or subscribing to our YouTube page at theexperience.video, because both of those are just really growing, and we're really getting the positive word out to more people. We're not just about our local area. That's what we broadcast here in the Willamette Valley and also in the Waco, Texas area. But also we're about encouraging you to take advantage of blessings in your community locally. Bless your local businesses. Look for believers in business you can share your faith with. And it's always a good thing, right, Scott? Yes, right. Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Scott?
absolutely. And we both have a number of shows, and so go to the experience.video and subscribe, learn more. And Christine is putting her show in there as well, which comes right after this one. This one will end at the bottom of the hour. Get yourself a drink, and then tune in to Aspects of Aging at agingbetternetwork.com.
That's great. Always a good one. Always a good one. But in the meantime, we're going to get to our guest today because Michael is amazing. Love to have him. Let's bring him in. Here he comes, Mr. Michael Holt. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Wow, I'm so excited to be here today, man. Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
Well, it makes my Monday happy. So glad that you're here today. We just love all that you're about, Michael. But, for those that don't know you, give everybody a little bit of what in the world is Michael up to, and who are you?
Oh, yeah. I'm an ordinary guy chasing Jesus, trying to figure out what we're supposed to be doing. That's who Michael Holt is. No, I am a very, very blessed individual. I would say I'm an entrepreneur. I have a father of 4. We started this family business. I got the kids out there working in the office with me right now. 33-year career in the casino industry. Was impacted with COVID when the owners sold, and God laid on my heart to start this family business. Actually laid on my daughter's heart, who's the mastermind. And she said, "Hey, Dad, let's take your wisdom and let's go out and shine bright and make a difference." So we created Link It Media. We're the co-founder of the Link It Local program, where we connect like-minded business people like yourself together and really just try to go out and serve one another and make a difference.
Yeah, well, I love that. Always making a difference. And I think that's what we love most about you, Michael, is that you are always engaging and trying to be a positive force in the community. So let's start off a little bit with just about your local business. Give us a little bit of information on Lincoln Media Group.
Yeah, Lincoln Media Group. We're here in the Portland, Vancouver area. And what we have is we have an office with we've got about a dozen teammates that are working with Lincoln Media. And really what we do is we go around our local market as well as outside of our local market, right? Local is wherever people naturally gather. And what we do here in the local market is we find popular locations where people naturally gather, and we give them digital marketing screens and a professional marketing team to help them put pictures to the things they want to sell more of at no cost, as long as they let the local businesses network with them and put their message up at that location. So we're out making a difference in this local market, and it's connecting nationally. So we're also outside of our local area doing the same.
So, Michael, you were working in the casinos. COVID came, business sold, and you go to launch this business. You have 4 kids, and a lot of people think, "Oh yeah, kids working in the business. It's dad's farm. They're out pulling the plows, whatever it is, working hard." This business came about a little bit differently. This was actually, whose idea was it?
Yeah, it was actually my daughter's vision. She came to me, and when you put in a 33-year career in these little mini casinos, and at my peak we had 430 employees. I was selling Little League candy to the poker players when I was young, and we grew up around a card table. That's playing cards and having fun. So the reason I share that is at the end of my career, to be honest with you, my daughter, she was my hero. In fact, she created this business with the concept that, Dad, I want you to come in and do whatever you want. She really wanted just to retire me, but I wasn't in a place to retire. But she created it. She knew my values. She had a little bit of an idea from past businesses. She was in merchant sales for a long time, and she just came to me and said, "Hey, Dad, let's join arms together and let's go make a difference." And she brought the concept of Lincoln Media to me, where we would go in and put these digital screens. Remember, at the time of COVID, you couldn't get menus. Restaurants were struggling to stay open. Businesses were struggling. And so what we did is we went in and put these big digital screens in so those restaurant business owners could promote what they wanted to sell more of, because people like myself with glasses couldn't see a menu. They were scanning a QR code, looking at their phone. So the concept from Lincoln Media, really, the mastermind behind it was my daughter. And then I got to bring all of my 33 years of casino, chief brand officer there and general manager to the table. And we're just having fun kind of getting out of the way of it.
And so we've got Michael Holt, Lincoln Media, and this is a family business there. Oftentimes we talk about how people integrate their family into the business. We see that, and you mentioned your son coming on board as well. What about the faith? How do you integrate that in the business? And I have the advantage that I've actually physically been in your space. And I have raved about this in the past, that people talk about walking the walk. But I've been there and I know that you do this. Even by the way the desks are organized, the things you have on the wall, but also the way you structure the day. So let's talk about integrating faith into the business.
Yeah, faith is an interesting thing. When you take a look at it, we need to be respectful. Everybody has a right to believe what they believe, but what we wanted to do was create a environment where people wanted to come to work. And both my daughter and I, we were faith driven. In fact, you guys know I've been speaking for a long time that I wanted to write the book, The 5 F Words That Every Parent Should Teach Their Kids. Because when I was in the casino, you learn a lot. You have all walks of life that come into a casino that are looking for something, and they sit around a poker table and they share stories. But my daughter came from the environment of sales where it wasn't led with values. In fact, there was a lot of, sales first, all about money motivating, hard sales, right? If you don't get the deal, you're going to get fired. And, on break, everybody go out, smoke and do whatever they needed to do to get ready for the next push to come in and try to sell more ads. She came to me and she said, Dad, what I'd like you to do is we can create something here where we can bring those 5 F words to life, which is, faith, finance, fitness, family and friends, and having some fun. So we went to work at trying to define what that would look like inside these 4 walls, because outside the world is tough. But when people got to Lincoln Media, we wanted them to come in and have an opportunity to have those things. So we start off each day with an hour of personal development. We did start a Bible study. It's an optional Bible study on Mondays and Fridays, where on lunchtime, if the team wants to stick around for lunch, we will gather. I lead it along with my daughter and a few others in the group. And we're just trying to share things that have served us well in hopes that it will connect with others. And so we're planting those seeds. They work Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. They get an hour lunch break. We have a lot of fun, as you can see on our Friday fun days, where they're playing games. And I'm really just trying to create a place that is full of, we say raise it up around here, because we want a good environment that feels good and feels safe for those that are a part of it.
Yeah, I love what you talk about environment, and I'm all about that. You and I are so much alike, but I love that you are creating a positive, godly environment, because it doesn't just happen by happenstance. You just don't wake up and suddenly it's all godly and things are up on the walls and people are giving people positive input. You've got to be intentional about that. And I think that is so important. Talk a little bit more about that, your intentionality of creating, because people have a choice, but it's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, it starts with our own, you know, to be honest with you, it starts with our own thoughts and process, right? I mean, I don't a lot of times feel worthy to really lead a lot of times with those values. We're all broken, we're all sinners, we're all dealing with life as it comes at us. But God says, "Hey, get out of your own way, Michael. If you put your trust and faith in me, and start to plant your seeds, I will use you." And what I say is, I'm 58, turning 59, and still trying to figure out what that really means. It's easy to say, let's lead with Jesus first, but when it comes to practice, what does it look like? So, for me, what I just try to do is shine bright. I pray a lot, asking God, how are we going to take this vehicle that you've given us? Because we don't want to be an ads. We don't, ads, they work, they're great, but it's not about ads. It's about connecting like-minded people. See, at Lincoln Media, we believe people buy with their eyes. That's why we put the screens up and the pictures up. Just being able to see it, you're going to buy with your eyes. We also believe that people want to work with who they know, like, and trust. We hear that all the time. We know they'd like to buy local and help out the community together, and they want to work with like-minded people. So when it came to faith, I respect everybody's beliefs. We don't push that down, but we do share. I'll give you a little example. In my office, when you come in, there's the road to 100, and we teach. The whole goal is to try to get to 100 if you can. And then I share with people, average age of life for men is 76, 81 in women. That might change a little bit, but that's the average life. And what I share with people is I choose Jesus. And I ask this question: if there's a better plan, share it with me. And I wait to see what they respond with, and nobody's come up with a better plan. So what they do is they write their name and their age, and they put it up on a sticky board on this 0 to 100 to see where they're at with their journey. And we just share the opportunity. If you don't know Jesus, you might check it out. And like I said, if there's a better plan, share it with me, but nobody's sharing that plan. So we just have a lot of fun with it. We encourage people. We shine bright. We love you where you're at. It doesn't matter what your faith is. We just meet you where you're at, and we just continue to try to walk the talk and make a difference while we're here in this short period of time.
And Michael Holt of Lincoln Media, I'm grateful that you're a guest here on the Experience Local as we talk about expressing your faith in business and your belief in discipleship of Jesus. And this is what we've been called to do. And one of those things that you have here, and you mentioned this, is this personal development time. So in many cases, businesses encourage personal development, but it's on your own time. Go home and read this book or take this course, but do it on your own time. You guys allocate time for that. And how do you choose what, or do the employees choose? How does that work?
Well, what we do is we commit to a weekly agenda, but we talk about, for example, motivational Mondays. So our leaders will decide what a motivational Monday tape might look like. So you may get a Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn or Les Brown, those types of. Usually there's a 30-minute kind of a discussion around a topic to help. Just, you come in from Mondays. Mondays are tough. You just came off the weekend. And so the team comes in and they get in and listen to that kind of the motivational Monday. They always have a gratitude sheet. So we ask them to take a moment and think about 3 things they're grateful for. They also have their goal sheet in front of them that they get reminded to write down what are their goals this week, personal and business wise. Again, and it's TED Talk Tuesdays is the next topic. They've got Waste Shack is one of the sales reps that does a training. So they do a Waste Shack Wednesday. And Thursday, same thing. They have fun with it. They change it up. And then we also play a lot of games in the morning to get them started, to get their creativity, get them moving before they get on the phones. So that, you'll find them playing Yahtzee, Family Feud, trivia games, all kinds of things just to start off with, fun and getting them moving and, doing their thing, because they will get on the phones and start sharing the vision of Lincoln Media for a few hours in the morning. Then they take that hour lunch break and then they come back and they do it again for the afternoon. So a lot of fun. They put it in there. The teammates are all contributing what they'd like to see more. But it's just a fun opportunity for them to grow together as a family.
Well, and I think that is so critical, Michael, is how do you encourage coming together, community, connection between your people inside so that then they can encourage that outside because it flows from the top down and from the inside out. And I think that people a lot of times don't realize that if you've got a tough structure inside and not really a good feeling as far as people are vibing together that work together, it's not going to flow well to those outside. And I think that is so important that you do that. I mean, of course, Michael, you and I have been able to, we spent lots of time together, but I've never been up to your office and I'm still planning to do that. I'm not, I tell you, I don't have good excuses. I mean, I have some good excuses, but I don't know how good they are. So anyway, so listen, what I love is that you've got family working together. Talk a little bit more about that. I mean, you all already have, but the value of coming together with people you love and letting them bring their talents to the table, realizing that God is giving you children that are better at things than you are.
Yeah.
I realize that all the time. The older I get, the more I realize that.
Yeah. Yeah. My daughter and the kids, a lot of times they threaten to retire me because this old guy needs to get out of the way and let them do what they do well. But I have 4 amazing children that are all different, and they all have different thoughts, different beliefs from time to time. And so, we love each other where we're at. And, it sounds easy, right? But it's not, because, you're spending 8 hours a day, that 40 hours a week, which is a gift. But also when things are tough, or if there's performance issues that people aren't performing, there's standard issues where other people in the office are looking at the kids compared to them. So it's not perfect, and we're all messy. Even myself, we have raised it up a lot of times because you might hear profanity that comes out. The kids try to tell me that's okay from time to time, Dad, but they have tickets. So if they miss the mark, the other teammates can hold them. We always say raise it up, and they take tickets from one another to help them keep that culture fun, because we do slip. And again, it's not a perfect world. I start with myself. There's a lot of things that I need to do, but it causes you to really realize how important it is to walk your talk, love everybody where they're at. We don't judge, and we just encourage. But it's really been for me, it's the greatest gift that I've been given. After the 33-year career went away, I had a chance to stay in that business and step down and get back into operations. But God laid in my heart to step out to the unknown. And my daughter, like I said, I can't give her enough credit, because her number one goal was to retire me and her mother. And she created a system that we get to be and do what we do and love to do, and we can have fun doing it. And it looks like the good Lord approves of it, because we're getting ready to the end of this year will be 5 years. And you guys know how tough that 5-year point is, where 80% of those businesses just don't make it. And we're just getting ready to go. We're just getting ready to run, and it's going to be fun to see what he's got in store for us.
Yeah, you've been installing some new systems, I know, which can be a little disruptive in the workplace. But I want to ask you about leadership, because you mentioned that earlier. You've been in the casino industry, and you had a lot of people that you were responsible for. And I just want to ask you about your theories of leadership. And again, we have a lot of folks that are either formal or informal leaders out there at their church, in their business, in their volunteer organizations. What kind of tips and what kind of theory do you recommend around leadership?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. It starts, you guys, again, it sounds cliche, but you've heard it before. People don't care how much you know until they know that you care. And caring starts with really getting to know your people inside and out, and meeting with them. And I think that's where the faith comes in, because when you offer up as an owner, if you have any issues, you've got an open door policy that people can come in. I share with them. If you don't like what we do, you can come in behind these closed doors and share with us and say anything that you want to say to me. You won't offend me, but out there, we got to be positive and make sure that we're leading with those values. But my leadership is your teammates could work anywhere for anybody, and they choose to be with you. You work for them. They don't work for you. So what we try to do is give them the tools and the love and the care that they need to be successful. And then we put out what I believe is realistic goals, and we let them participate in setting those goals. We don't expect people to be the superstar. We just expect them to continue to get better, and we just encourage them to be the best they can be. And if they don't make it here, it's not a surprise. A teammate should never be surprised if you have to say goodbye to them, because you've set those goals and standards out and you've communicated along the way. And typically they'll come to you and know it's not a good fit, because when you're in sales, you got to sell. And if you don't, then you try to figure out why. And if it just doesn't work, you give them a hug and say, hey, let's help you go find another place where you can have success.
Yeah, no, that's just it. And I think that you are such a great leader. I appreciate all that you do and all that you're about, not only with the people in your company, but how you are with Scott and I, and just all your friends and community. So listen, as we're wrapping things up here, I got to be the responsible host, and we need to have you give everybody in the next minute your gold nugget. And how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah. Well, hey, the golden nugget is going to always come back around to be reminded that everything is working for the good. I try not to be a religious guy. I'm a big Jesus guy. I say it all the time. I just believe in Jesus. And, one of our Bible studies is we've been doing Proverbs, and we're going through the book of Proverbs, which is a lot of fun, which is wisdom. And, the wisdom is just get out of your own way. If you have a goal and a dream, just know that that's been laid on your heart for a reason, and to go chase it. And the pearl of wisdom is whenever it gets tough, it's usually something that is out of your control. So go take it to the good Lord, pray about it, and just know that those answers are coming. And just stay at it. Just keep going, and keep loving all the way through it. And if you want to reach me again, we're out there, Lincoln Media Group. You can go to Michael at lincolnmediagroup.com. Send me an email. We're out there on Facebook. We're in LinkedIn. But just reach out. I'd love to spend time encouraging you and seeing how we can help serve you. And if not, point you in the right direction. So just here at Lincoln, we're ordinary people just trying to get out of our own way and do what Jesus wants us to do, which is shine bright.
Woohoo! There you go. I love it. What a great way to end this show today. Wanted to tell you all of the amazing things that Michael told you about today. You really need to stretch your faith. And I want to tell you something that I'm currently doing, and that is this 40-day challenge of prayer. Mark Batterson, if you haven't read The Circle Maker, you got to read it. Amazing pastor out of Washington, D.C. If you want to change your life, there is power in prayer. And I want to recommend that you all take a look at that. With that, Michael, we're going to say goodbye to you. Hang tight, my friend, in the green room. We'll see you on the other side.
All right.
See you there, Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, awesome as always.
Yeah, and it's great to get those practical skills of leadership, and not by somebody who learned it in a book, but who is living it, applying it in their business. Yeah.
And if you want to live it, pick this book up by Mark Batterson. I can't read it. I'm telling you, I just am in the middle of this, and I can't recommend it enough. So with that, Scott, always amazing to be here with you. All of Michael's information is clickable. All of Scott's and my information has been in the show notes and in the comments, and is also ticking along the bottom. Love to have you all join our YouTube page and be part of everything we got going on. So go to local.theexperience.video and the experience.video directly to our YouTube page. And with that, been a blessing. Enjoy your life and
enjoy the local experience.
There you go. Woohoo! All right.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.